Ladies and gentlemen, welcome along to another round of your International Racing League season. We're here for round number 6 around the Japanese Grand Prix. Formula 1, I make this joke every time. Formula 1 have warmed up the circuit and we're here tonight for what should be some great racing action, the return of Bjorn de Bar. We've got Nike with a new name, Chaz, a driver with a lot of speculation about him. And of course everybody else as well. Razor is starting on his first push lap, and he will be the first one to set us away here in qualifying for the Japanese Grand Prix. The kick Sauber heading through the first sector now. There's a lot of S's. You don't want to use all these many curbs, as you just want to keep it as close as you possibly can to that curve is a killer, as is this one. And if you can stay out of them, you're doing pretty okay. He's done pretty okay to head through the first sector untroubled, and 32.364 is what he's managed to do. Then Degna 1, Degna 2, and up until the first hairpin of 2. The second one is Spoon, of course. This one slightly less iconic, but all still so difficult. I was doing some time trial laps around here yesterday. Not so easy. There is, from the looks of things, rain looming on the horizon for these drivers, as above there is a lot of cloud around the circuit, but hopefully it stays off for the driver's sake at least, although it would give us something of a spectacle to watch. Razor up to the second sector. It's a 1:12.5, and he's going to head around the final couple of corners now. No idea what to expect lap time wise, but we'll see. Bjorn de Bar waiting for me to get underway on the stream before he goes out on his outlap. Razor up to the line with 29.3. Looking back at a few of the drivers as ARL invalidates on his first lap time. Knight heads through sector number 2. Was Davey Norris. Was also Uncle Lando, I think. That's looking a month or so ago. How time flies when you're having fun, eh? And the number 5 McLaren now heading around the final couple of corners. The first couple of lap times have been thrown in. Nobody can match Razor yet, nor can Nike, who's running no line tonight and is currently sitting in P4. So not too terrible from him as Jazz. Well, there's a lot of talk about him pre-race, and he's so far backing it up. Although Ashtube going 2/10 or a tenth and some chunk faster. Well, he's just thrown it right back in Chaz's face, hasn't he? And Razor's 29.3 that looked pretty good at the start of the session. Looking a little bit silly now as he's 1.6 or 1.7 even seconds ahead of Razor in P3, and the top 2 setting incredible lap times. Ashtube, arguably uncharacteristic from the V-carb, going up to the front row of the grid. We'll see where Speedy Spud is able to put that Aston Martin as he heads around the final couple of corners. The target time is now a 28.5 set by Ashtube. A very strong time. Speedy Spud up to the line with a 29.8. Goes into P5. What would have been P3 if it wasn't for Ashtube and Chaz's push laps. ARL is heading in the first sector once again after invalidating on his previous run. Jesse Nutter is about to come up to the third sector. Sticky Icky is in sector 1, so we'll watch. That's Lone Star. We'll watch Jesse Nutter heading through the final couple of corners. He's got a 24.3, so this is not a push lap. And we'll see where the kick sour goes once he gets it underway once again. And, well, he's going to come across the line. It is a valid lap, but it's only a 41.7, which is, you know, traditional pace for the likes of Nike and Ricky. But there we go. Bjorn de Bar up to the front row. 28.6, and he's just under a tenth behind Ashtube. Purple second sector allegedly for Sticky Icky as he heads through it with a 1:12, and we'll see where he goes. Heading through the final couple of corners, and up to the line will come the Ferrari. Is it going to be purple as it speculated? No, but it is P2 from him, so a pretty decent start to that lap. A pretty decent start to his qualifying session as to be expected. And the front row now beckons. Jesse Nutter 5 seconds quicker in the first sector and the Kick Sauber looking to reach the heights that Razor got at the end of the first runs in this qualifying session. Razor, of course, was on provisional pole. Is now down in P5 as JSC Nutter is heading through. He's in 12th place at the moment. TKM is in P13. I've been told by the man in P6 that his name is not MCH, it is Hoppy. So I will try to respect that. And I will forget JSC Nutter 11 seconds up in the first two sectors. And not only is this looking like a good lap, it's looking like a great lap if he can hook this final sector up. Around the final corner he comes as yellow flags out for a car parked up. And it's a 29.6, which puts him in P7. That's not too bad going. So our championship leader heads into the first sector, and we'll see where he slams the gauntlet down, as he has so many times on pace so far this season. We'll see where he ends up going once again. Out of the first sector then, a 32.0, good lap time. And now heading up the hill towards the first of two hairpins. As we tick into single figures, 9 minutes 59 left in the session. And I wouldn't say it's crunch time just yet for Unksu, but it's good to get a couple of laps underway within the first few minutes of this session. Otherwise, it could all come down to the last couple of laps. And, well, Lone Star and TKM are in the same sort of scenario as, well, that was TKM going up into 5th place with a 29.2. Lone Star up to the front row with a 28.6. And Unksu now the last driver without a lap time. Of course, ARL the slowest, but it is no longer a 41 that is the slowest lap time. It's a 30.4, so that's a competitive time from the Alpine. Up to the line comes our championship leader, and it's a 28.2. Demonstrating exactly why he's our championship leader and taking that P1 away for the time being. He makes it look easy, I'd argue. And, well, he is up there once again. He's 31 points ahead in the championship. And he's looking to solidify that lead tonight. A little bit of conversation as well going on between Luke Racer and Beyond the Bar. Allegedly, Luke Racer held up Beyond the Bar in the first sector. Well, not in the first sector, in his first lap even. But we'll see whether that is true or whether that is a rubbish. If you're going to listen to Callum Gray, I think it is. Razor through the first sector was improving. And the Kick Sauber now, he's ahead of his teammate, but he'll be wanting to get back up to that provisional pole time. We know that there is a provisional pole time on the table for Razor as he heads through now the second sector of 3, of course, of 3. And up to the second sector split time, it's going to be a 1:12.0. He's going to hope that this Haas gets out of the way as he's 4 tenths up on his time. And they're both doing a very good job to get out of the way, both the Haas and the Mercedes, Lone Star and Unksu. Unksu the only Haas. Lone Star is teammates with Beyond the Bar, who sits in the pits. And Razor improves, but only goes P8. So interesting stuff. Because he was improving by a lot of time, but he's still got a lot of time on the board. Ricky Maru heading through the second sector, or heading through the first sector, heading on his second lap even, as ARL comes into the chat saying, "There's nothing in here, car not happy. This is terrible from you though." I mean, I think it's faster than my time trial lap, so I'll give you that. However, having said that, as Ricky is 5 seconds up, I don't think he's improving. Having said that, I'm getting quicker. I am getting quicker. And there will be a point very soon, I think very soon, I'm hoping very soon, where I can say, look, listen, I'm quicker than you. So, just saying. Ashtube is improving in the first sector. And he's now going to try and challenge with Unksu for that pole position. There's only about enough lap time for 2 left. In the session. And this is Ashtube's first of those 2. There's about 6 minutes left. Counting a proper lap and an out lap, you'd probably say about leave 3 minutes 30. So yeah, it's about right. Ashtube improving by 2/10. And it is allegedly a purple second sector. It continues on now, last couple of corners. Where is the V-Carb going to go as he heads up to the line? Unksu's got pole position at the moment with a 28.2. Ashtube loses time in that final sector, instead of gains it, and actually drops into P2 still, but does actually improve at the end of it when it's all said and done. Sticky Icky through the first sector was improving minorly, but if he can find 4/10 in the second and third sectors, he will be up to that pole position. And he's found 4/10 of a second. This could be the opportunity where he goes up to pole position. It's currently held by Unksu, but the Ferrari around the final corner goes and will set a 28.221. Swap two of those digits around and you've got a joint pole position, but as it stands, he's 0.009 seconds off, which shows how close the field is. And Sticky Icky just in P number 2 at the moment, but he knows that he has that pace. He's demonstrated that he has that pace to go up onto the front row. ARL is looking for a time on the board. He's got a Mercedes. He's got a Red Bull right on his rear, and ARL improving by 3/10 in the first sector. He has no reason to yield as TKM is following through. Big slide from ARL, and he backs out of the lap. Gave a lovely slipstream, although could be considered dirty air to TKM in that first sector. We'll see where this lap time is compared in comparison to his previous one. 29.2 was 1.2 seconds ahead of ARL. Who knows where ARL's lap would have put him, but because it's over. TKM, a slight lock-up heading through the mid-speed corner, but he's made his way through it okay, and he's going to come up to the second sector split time. Is it going to be more of an improvement on his lap time, or is it going to be down? He's improving by quite a lot of time, 7/10 of a second, and if he can hold it through this final corner, he could be challenging for the front row of the grid. Up to the line comes TKM, and it's a 28.497, exactly 8/10 quicker. P4 is his. Not quite reaching Sticky Icky's lap times at the moment, but not too far off. Speedy Spud improving by 5/10 in the first two sectors, but those 5/10 would only gain him one place on MCH, and he actually does dive into the pits, deciding that he's not going to improve. Nike improving by 0.165 in the first sector, 0.337 in the second, and the McLaren will come up to the line now. Where is he going to go? Heading through, holding on to it, and around the final corner he's going to come. He's going to set his lap time, and it's going to be a 1:29.794. So an improvement, but not by very much. Ricky Maru, though, speaking of improvements, has found 4/10 in the first sector. That is a huge amount of time from the Ferrari. He's going to try and back it up within the second and the third sectors, as there's 2 minutes 38 left on the clock. It's going to be tight if he does want to make it around for another lap. I don't think he's going to be able to. I think this is going to be it for Ricky Maru, the number 46. Wanting to spot the number 47, but it doesn't quite work. Or is it 48? I can't quite see on that Ferrari, but he's going to come up to the second sector split time. Not open the DRS. There is no DRS down this straight. It looks as though it's an obvious place, but never mind, and he's improving by 7/10 of a second. So a 28.0 is on the cards, a 27 potential if he's able to hook it up in this final couple of corners. And up to the line comes the Ferrari. Is he going to beat a 28.2? He looks on track to do it. He doesn't. It's an identical lap time between himself and Unksu, and I genuinely don't think I've ever seen that before for pole position. If Unksu doesn't improve on his final run, that will be a first for me, a first for a lot of these drivers, I would imagine. Ricky Maru setting exactly the same lap time as Unksu for that pole position with a 28.2. Sticky Icky, his teammate, not too far off, 9,000ths of a second off as Nike tries to head through now. Is he going to come into the pits? Yeah, there's no chance he's getting back round. That's the end of his lap time, and that's the end of his qualifying session. P14 is the highest position where he is potentially going to qualify at, but 2 identical lap times. I have never seen the like. Razor now heading up to the first sector split time. We'll see where he goes as Unsu starts his lap. Ricky is surely on an in-lap at this point. Razor improves by 0.021. So there's a little bit of time in that first sector found by the Kicksauber, but there's a lot of time left on the board, and I'm wondering whether it's going to be exactly the same for the second sector. Nike coming into the chat saying he's not going to do very well with no line, or I'll say that's what he said. But I mean, fair play. 29.7. That's still not too bad. It's only a tenth off of Jesse Nutter. Race pace, I'm sure, will be better because you can just get into the rhythm of it. So I wouldn't be surprised if it is significantly better. Razor now comes up to the second sector split time. Is he going to improve by any more? As there's an Aston Martin weaving just ahead of him. He's improving by just under a tenth of a second, and now he's going to head through the final couple of corners. It's going to be close for Speedy Spud as to whether he's going to be able to get round on his push lap. It's going to be close for a few of them. And, well, Speedy Spud's going to make it. TKM is not. Oh, that was close from Speedy Spud. Razor moves up to 7th as we've got 5 drivers, 6th to 10th. Very close together. And then there's 6 huge tenths back to MCH Unsu. Please invalidate on this final corner because it would be an absolutely insane moment if he's able to get exactly the same lap time. He doesn't need to improve on this final run as that's a Red Bull coming out of the way, but he's going to anyway, and it's going to be a 27.777. Unsu has had pace tonight that is just unmatchable. Well, Ricky matched it exactly, but all those conditions were so different, and Unsu there demonstrating that it was all down to the conditions, that's what Ricky was relying on to get up to P2. Now Sticky Icky, Ricky's teammate, has improved quite a chunk in that first sector, and he's going to be the last one. Maybe potentially Ash Tube to challenge for that pole position, but I think it's going to be mostly down to Sticky Icky as there's a driver going off. Ash Tube goes up to the front row with a 27.8, so he did look to challenge, but not quite close enough. Now Sticky Icky heads up to the second sector split time. Where is he going to go? It's going to be a 1 minute 11.672. It's not an improvement for the Ferrari, and now he heads out to the final couple of corners. His ERS is flashing. He's got nothing left to push with, and he's now just simply going to try and push up to the line with raw pace. And, well, he's almost gone into the pit wall there, but will not be improving. Nor will ARL. Will Speedy Spuddy comes up to the line now. He does improve. He's up into P11, but that is that for your qualifying session. Unsu taking pole position. In the end, Ricky, who matched Unsu's pace perfectly in that penultimate stint, isn't even on the front row. He's only just on the second row of the field by 0.009 seconds. But it's Unsu, then Ash Tube, then Beyond the Bar, then Ricky, then Sticky, then TKM, then Chaz, then Lone Star, then Razor, then Loot Racer, then Speedy Spud, then Hoppy, then Nutter, then Nike, then ARL. Rounding out the field, the 2 down the bottom are the 2 in chat. Does that mean anything? You tell me. Because I'd say Cockhouse fans are notoriously slow. I had Thomas Enger driver Damien Curiel in my TikTok stream yesterday. If that's levels, you might not know what that means. That's levels. I'm telling you now. I'll take it. But yes, Unsu taking pole position, Astube in P2. Beyond the Bar in 3rd with Ricky taking 4th in the end. Only just ahead of Sticky Icky, then 3 tenths back to TKM. And I will get the rest of the standings up in a minute. Right, TKM in P number 6 with Chaz in P7, Lone Star in P8, Razor in P9, and Loot Racer rounding out the top 10. Then it's Speedy Spud, Hoppy, Nutter, Nike, and ARL rounding out the grid. It's a pretty decent grid, decently sized, at least 15 cars in it. And soon, very soon, we're going to head to race day. welcome along. We're back for the International Racing League. Round number 6 around Japan. And, well, get those race predictions in the chat. And don't say that you're going to finish last, both of you, because both of you cannot finish last. Listen, if I can do Japan on no line night, so can you on that fancy setup of yours. And so, in conclusion, shut up. But yes, we should be getting going shortly. And we are now. It is the 5 red lights. It's the Japanese Grand Prix. And it's action here in Suzuka. Unksu gets off to a lightning start. He pulls across into turn number 1. Astube goes even more to the inside line. He's going to have to try and defend from Ricky as they head through turn 1 now. And he's been successful in doing just that. It's side by side in behind from Razor and Lone Star, who dives it to the inside line and makes that move stick. And Razor now, he's had an exit that was compromised. And Hoppy looks to get past around the outside. He's got to go the long way around though. Can he hold on to this move as TKM tries to go in the middle of them as well? It's going to be MCH who comes out on top in that battle. JSC Nutter and Knight now side by side. But Knight missing his braking point and dropping to the rear of the field. Managing to stay out of everybody's way, which is good for him. And, well, as they head out of the first couple of sectors, it's Unksu who continues to lead. Luke Racer swaps with Lone Star for P7. And Chaz is up into P number 6 as it stands. So a decent start from the top 8. Hoppy, 1.4 seconds off of Lone Star in P9. And Razor trying to close in on him as they head down to the second sector split time. On this first lap of the Chinese, or not the Chinese Grand Prix, the Japanese Grand Prix, ARL makes its way past JSC Nutter. JSC Nutter tries to go it's the long way around 130R, goes off of the circuit and cannot retake that position on ARL. So the Alpine is going to hold on to that position. Unksu fastest lap of the race, but DRS enabled means that Ashtube's going to come into it. And I'm sure he's going to be sending it a little bit more than we saw in the real life race earlier with Max Verstappen, Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri coming home in that order, just following each other through. Ricky, though, could be overtaking Ashtube as early as the end of the S's, maybe even earlier than that, as he's right on the rear now and he's trying to shape up a move. Whether he's going to be able to do it is another question, but we shall see. For the Ferrari drivers, that is Chaz going very wide off the circuit, but and once again very wide off of the circuit, dropping into the hands of Luke Racer and dropping out of the DRS off the top group. MCH almost back into the DRS now of Lone Star, which would be a good omen for them, the drivers P9 and down, if they can make it back in. Chaz has also made it back in into the top DRS range, sort of. He's 1.0 seconds back, but that is just a little bit too much, and so he stays in behind as it stands without that DRS, and he's going to be pressured by Lone Star in the next few corners. But at the end of lap 2 now, heading on to lap number 3, and it's Unksu who continues to lead this one, but it's the first DRS zone for all of these drivers, with Ashtube opening up that DRS now, trying to close in. He's 4 tenths back now, he's 3, now it's 2, and now it's just 1 tenth back, and he's going to send it into turn number 1, making it move nice and simply. And Ashtube, from going under pressure from Ricky on that last lap, is now up into P1. And Unksu is now set to be the driver to try and soak up that pressure from the Ferrari in behind. But Ashtube making that move, and now he's going to try and build that gap with Unksu suffering under the pressure of Ricky Maru in behind in P2. And Ricky sweeping to the outside. He could be trying to make the move, or he could be trying to defend from Beyond the Bar, who's looking to fight forward on his return to racing here in Japan. He looks to the outside line, potentially. It could be a switch to the inside for the hairpin, not quite, and he does decide to just sit in for now, but he's very close behind. And, well, we've got a few drivers very close in behind. Chaz has just made it into the DRS, so has MCH, and so everybody down to P12 is now caught back up. JSC Nutter only just dropped outside of it. He's going to hope to try and get back in. It's wide for Ricky, and that opens up the door for Beyond the Bar if he so decides to take it, but he doesn't, and he sits in behind. just not making that move yet. And he's going to continue to wait for the time being. It's only lap 3 of this race, so they're just trying to settle in now as we are 1/9 into this race. So there's no need to take any sort of risky moves as it stands. He should just be happy with the top 6 or the top 5 even, trying to break away from 6th and below with Chaz not quite making it into the DRS on that lap once again. Unksu is going to try and take the lead of this one into turn number 1, and he does so once again plain and simply as there's yellow flags out. Knight struggling for that grip and struggling to find his line, and maybe he wasn't lying about really struggling for where he's going to look. Could potentially be a retirement from the session on only lap 4 of this race, or is it just a front wing change for Nike? It could potentially be that as well. As we'll have a look at the tyre situation. Nike, to be fair to him, is going to come out of the pits and is going to continue going in that McLaren. A new set of hard compound tyres strapped on, and presumably looking to head to the end of this race. We've got medium runners up and down the field. The only drivers on hards are Beyond the Bar, Lone Star, ARL, Speedy Spud, and now Nike, who's switched onto them and will be hoping to take the rest of the race on them. Speedy Spud, speaking of, makes his way past JSC Nutter with a late send, but on the exit, JSC Nutter gets a better one, but can't take advantage of it, and these two will continue to fight for P13 for the time being. Looking further up, it is Beyond the Bar down the inside of Ricky into heading into the straight, but doesn't quite have the straight line speed to hold on to it. Does Ricky have a wife and kids at home? Does Bjorn? We will see, as they don't go side by side, so they're both protecting their lives at the moment. As well, that was a Fernando Alonso quote reference there, but the top 5 staying within range. The top 7 now within DRS. Luke Racer just about dropping outside of it in that detection zone, and Poppy off of that DRS, off of Luke Racer as well. Ash Tube going for it one more time into turn number 1 and retaking the lead with the DRS plain and simply. And I think that's going to be a move that you can't really defend. There's no real point trying to defend it if you're Unksu or if you're Ash Tube and it's happening vice versa. You just got to let it happen because it's ultimately benefiting you and the team. Somebody should tell Lando Norris' side of the garage that. Anyway, TKM might have gone around in the S's. It looks as though he has. There we go. He's off the circuit. Out of the way of Speedy Spud and Nutter. Maybe Nutter? Yeah, he's out of the way of Nutter now. And he drops down to P14. Promotes a lot of drivers up the field. But it doesn't affect the top 7 who are within DRS range of each other. Ash Tube leading this one. Unksu, Ricky, Beyond Bar, Sticky Icky, and Chaz, and Lone Star as well. The top 7 is comprised of those drivers. And Bjorn and Lone Star in a great position right now on a set of the hard compound tyres. They can pit basically whenever they want, as long as those mediums last to the end, and it's vice versa. Anybody on the mediums can pit whenever they want. In fact, it probably brings a little bit more of an advantage for them to pit for a set of, or to start on a set of the mediums, because of the unpredictability of this league and the fact that there may well be a safety car. Bjorn gets the exit out of the final corner and he gets the run, but he tucks in behind once again Ricky Maru, and it's side by side for the lead once again, and Unksu slides through. So the Haas retakes P number 1 on lap 6 of this race. But this is the sort of time where Bjorn won't mind sitting in P4, because he knows in a few laps' time those tyres are going off and he can sneak through and take P1 and then last ages before he has to make a switch, as he now tries to get past Ricky. I say he's happy where he is and then he makes his move past. But if the door opens, absolutely why not go for it? Especially if you're going for 3rd place, especially if you are trying to take that victory sitting in P3. Pretty decent. Sitting in P2 even better, and he might try to get past Ash Tube within the next few laps. But it is what it is for these drivers at the moment, at least. And Bjorn looks to try and continue his good start to this race. What has he done so far? He's done, well, he's not moved up or down the field. He's stayed in exactly where he qualified. But on a set of those hards, pretty impressive stuff to stay exactly where you qualified if you are Beyond the Bar. And he's going to hope to hold on to that P3 for the remainder of this stint, at the very least for Unksu and Ash Tube. And then they can come in, and that is when he can really, really try and push. Ashub not close enough to make a move on Unksu down this straight on this occasion. Could this be a case of the tides turning? The fact that Ashub was looking behind him more than forward, as that's a slide from Ricky Maru. Does well to keep it out of the wall, but he drops down from P7, from P4 all the way down to P7, and dropping even further. He tries to avoid an unsafe rejoin. He had the pace today, but a big slide out of the first corner demonstrates what one small mistake can do to you. And P12 is where he drops down to, dropping a whole 9 positions down to there as TKM picks up our first penalty of today. Oh no, it may well be 8 positions, as it looks as though Ricky's had some more issues in the first sector. 4.7 seconds off a speedy spud. Good luck, Ricky, getting back into the battle at the very top. Bjarne right on the rear of Ashtube now, and he soaked up the pressure from Ricky on the previous few laps. He was successful in soaking up said pressure, and now he's looking to fight forward. He's looking to take P2, and he's looking to try and pressure Unksu, despite his inferior tyres, for P number 1. He might well try and do it down the main straight, in which case it's going to be very, very close as to whether he can, because of course Ashtube is going to get that DRS, he's going to get that slipstream as well off Unksu, but beyond the bar, following in so close behind, but not making that move. Luke Racer, first driver into the pit lane for a regular change, I think. I'll have a look. Yeah, regular change for MCH. Not MCH, what am I talking about? Luke Racer, as Ricky decides to retire from the session and leaves as well. Small mistake in the first sector cost him a lot of time, but I'd never have retired. You never know what's going to happen. But Ricky, well, we know what's going to happen. Nothing. He's actually going to retire. Beyond the bar, maybe shaping up a move on Ashtube, not quite there. And, well, TKM and Nike both get past Ricky now for the final position as the Ferrari comes out into turn number 1. Beyond now close to the rear of Ashtube, as there's yellow flags for Ashtube's teammate Luke Racer, as well as potentially Jesse Nutter, who's going very, very slowly. Am I seeing rain? Not sure. Lone Star and Chaz side by side. Chaz around the outside. Can he hold on to the move? Not quite. He's going to try, as there's contact between the two. They both slide into the final corner. No damage incurred. And Chaz holds on to P5. So not bad going from the McLaren, who's the sole runner in the points for the McLaren team tonight. Lone Star doesn't have to worry about such a thing. His teammate is in P3 and looking racy and ready to take P number 2. But they'll continue on a third now of the way through this race. Unksu continues to lead. Ashtube continues to hold P2, and now beyond the bar in P3. And has the opportunity to overtake if he so desires. So does Chaz on Sticky Icky. And we've seen that he's not particularly a big fan of just sitting in behind. You know that he likes to make a move. And is he going to try and make a move as they head up to the hairpin? We shall see. As no, not quite. Luke Racer into the pits. The second retirement of this race. And P14 is where he holds. So another position for those down at the back to have gained. So not too bad. It's side by side between Lone Star and Chaz still. It's the inside line for Lone Star. He can hold on to this move and that lead. P5 is once again his. I mean, all of these drivers 2/10 within each other. They're so close together. Was that Luke Racer crashing on the main straight I saw? Very potentially, as Knight goes off once again. There's somebody going off in the background there. That was Lone Star, who missed his braking point and now will drop down to P number 5. But damage limitation is king, and that was relatively successful. Now he looks to get back past Sticky Icky and up into P4. He's done just that. And Lone Star now closing in on beyond the bar to try and take that podium position. What a story it would be if Lone Star took that pole position as well, just because of the trials that I think he's been through this year. I'll try and bring the standings up for you real quick. I know Unksu's in the lead. Right, hang on. Drivers' Championship. That's the Constructors' Drivers' Championship. I mean, he's in P4. He's only picked up 1 podium. Oh no, I'm thinking of Ashtube. Just down the inside goes Chaz. He makes that move stick on Sticky Icky. Just having a look. As Bjorn shaped up, was unsuccessful in a move past Ashtube. And we'll go again down the main straight. Where is Lone Star in the standings? P14 with 10 points. 1 fastest lap. Okay. I'd take P4, to be honest. P3 would be nice, but I would certainly take P4 if I was Lone Star at the moment. And, well, he doesn't appear to be wanting to do that. But one of this lot will pit early. You would imagine? No. Nobody pitting on that occasion. Disappointing stuff then for the team itself. As well, it's side by side once again. First for P3, and then he invited Bjorn de Bar to the battle as Unksu holds on to that race lead. Bjorn tries to go around the outside for P2, and Ashtube won't quite let him. But Bjorn's Mercedes appearing, which threw me off slightly. Bjorn's appearance here is exactly what he would have wanted out of this evening. As well, I try and work out why everything else has disappeared. There we go. 3 seconds going Lone Star's way for track limits, and that would explain why he's been able to hold on to it, at least for the time being. Virtual safety car is out because of a number of cars stopping on the circuit, and so we're neutralised momentarily. I'd like to give you, including the drivers, the opportunity of picking somebody who's going to win in this chat. I can tell you what, it's not me. And as they head up to the line and will start their green flag racing very soon, they will notice that it is not man's issue. That, well, that sort of thing exists. Bad things in world. Bjorn de Bar's pressured by Ashtube into P3. But Ashtube, don't forget, has Chaz behind him. Never mind. Well, he does still. Ashtube and Chaz coming to the pits, and Ashtube 10-second for speeding in the pit lane. That could be so crucial throughout the rest of this race. So yeah, strapping on a set of hard boots on. He's got those steel toe caps. And Knight picks up a drive-through penalty for speeding under the virtual safety car. You can't blame that one on your wheel. He's not the only one. TKM is the other one. So disappointing for both of them. As I've disconnected from the session, this appears to happen once a stream at the moment. So I will go to an intermission screen while I try to get back in. My apologies for that. And, we will see how quickly I'm going to be able to get back into the session. I'm almost glad that Nike's having a bad race now that that's happened, because it allowed me to get back in. He's actually now DNF'd from the race. Has the McLaren. So thanks for that, Nike. Don't leave in case that happens again. Ungsu and Beyond Bar are the drivers in contention for the lead of this race. If I'm not mistaken, has Ashtube come into the pits? And these two haven't. Yes. Ungsu and Beyond Bar, are they both going to come in? Beyond Bar is going to continue on a set of those hard compound tyres. Had to go into AR. Well, you've retired, mate. You're retired anyway, mate. So, is it illegal to use AI? I might be wrong, but I don't know. Chaz fastest lap in the meantime, as we have now crossed over halfway through this race. Yeah, fair enough. Drive-through not being ideal. I think, has TKM served his yet? Yes, he has. Okay. JSC Nutter as well. Looks like he may well have had one, or he's had to come into the pits again, something like that. But these two coming out of the pits in P6 and P7. Ashtube is 2.5 seconds up the road, and it's now crunch time. They've got to get their heads down and try to catch up to Ashtube and Chaz, as Beyond the Bar has the opportunity to try to break away as much as he can, the Mercedes. Currently in P1, 5.7 seconds ahead. Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. You weren't. Are you, by the way, still not in the IRL server? Am I seeing that right? Because I tried to ping you, and I couldn't, because I knew that you weren't having a great race. So I did try to ping you, and it just didn't work. As we've got Ashtube now trying to get past Speedy Spud into P number 3. This would be a good, important move at this point in the race for him, as he may well get past the Aston Martin, looking for an outside move. What a move this would end up being. There is a little bit of contact, but he's able to pull this one off in the end. And that is Ashtube into P number 3. What a move that is. And Chaz now trying to shape up the same one. He's down the inside line. Can the McLaren squeeze through into turn number 1? We shall see, as they're both going to go side by side. Speedy Spud's going to try and fight this one a little bit harder, but Chaz up into P4. And these two dispatching a Speedy Spud relatively easily. 1.5 seconds back to Ungsu, as he now tries to get through. As he goes very, very, very wide. No, he doesn't. Never mind. That's American servers for you. He's actually in the DRS of Speedy Spud, and he's broken DRS to Sicky Icky behind. But who knows what I believe anymore with these servers, with EA. You're not in there. So, how did you... Might be a stupid question. How did you tick to race? I know you got kicked on Tuesday. I think. Something like that. Potentially. Yeah, must have been Tuesday. But have you never found your way back in? And also, how did they know you were racing? Beyond a Bar comes into the pits on lap 15. And Ungsu makes his way past Speedy Spud. Nice and simply. And he's up into P5. He's got Chaz, the next driver, up in P4. ARL comes into the pits as well. And this is now a race-defining moment for Beyond a Bar. Where is he going to come out? Is he going to come out far down? Or is he simply going to come out in P number 6? Beyond a Bar now heading out of the pit lane. Will come out in P6. Will come out within range of the drivers ahead. And will come out with a very, very easy opportunity here. 1.3 seconds off of Sticky Icky, who does not have DRS anymore, to Speedy Spud. So the Ferrari not quite showing the pace that he would have wanted to in this second stint so far. It was a glitch. What was I talking about? What was I talking about? What glitch? But yeah, that's fair. You turn up and you finish P13. Great plan. No, I'm just kidding. You're doing better than I would. Sorry, not finished. DNF. Yeah. I mean, it's difficult when someone's Wi-Fi isn't the greatest. I know he can't really help it because he's American. But it is tricky. We now will head on to lap number 17 of this race. Speedy Spud's just dropped DRS to Unsu. Sticky Icky and Beyond the Bar, though, are in it. And they are well and truly in it on Speedy Spud. Can they both get past down the main straight? Yes, they can, because Speedy Spud comes into the pits. That opens up the opportunity for Beyond the Bar to try and get past Sticky Icky. However, Sticky's not going to give this position up in a hurry. They are side by side, and the just higher grip for the Mercedes sees him head through and up into P number 4. It's another 3-second time penalty for JSC Nutter, who is currently at the rear of the field and growing, I think, with TKM in P11. Speedy Spud's going to come out of the pits in P10 with MCH and Razor ready to close in. Unksu and Chaz are side by side. There's actually potentially Chaz has gone round those yellow flags, and Chaz has lost a little bit of time behind Unksu and Beyond a Bar. So I think there may well have been contact between the two drivers as they headed through, but barely any harm done. And Chaz now just outside ERS is going to now try to get back in. Support for Nutter in the chat. I mean, who doesn't love an underdog? Well, an underdog that's sitting 1 minute off of everybody else, and I think he might be retiring on this lap. This feels like a weird lap to, yeah. Ah, that's a shame. Yeah, well. Now down to 11. One more retires. Everybody who finishes guaranteed points. So why would you retire from this race? At this point, at least. Unksu and Beyond the Bar close to the back of Ashtube. But Beyond the Bar closer to the back of Unksu than he is on Ashtube, and could be trying to pressure. They head into turn number 1. Not quite. Yeah, Nutter's left the session now. He's given up on it. As Sticky Icky maybe looks the long way around Chaz. Doesn't make that move, as I've almost just pulled the cable out with my feet. And I'm glad I didn't. Sticky Icky now. Continuing on. I'm trying to think, what would that cable have been? I'm not sure. I've got a lot of cables under my desk. Anyway. It's all to bring you these incredible 720p streams. Sticky Icky looking to the inside just behind Chaz. Hoping to make an opportunity work, an opportunity count for him. And, well, he's going to try and get up to P number 4. This is looking like it may well be the peak of what these two drivers can achieve. With Beyond a Bar, though, side by side with Unksu. And trying to get past. He can't quite do it. And Unksu holds on to P2. I appreciate it, Knight. If only you would subscribe to me and follow me on TikTok as well. That'd be even better. Shameless self-plug. Every single week. It's generally the case. But yeah, I do appreciate it. Beyond trying to close in on Unksu. Maybe you could get some tips from these top drivers on how to be fast, eh? Beyond the Bar now looking around the outside. It would have been an impossible move. And, well, it was in the end an impossible move. And he stays in behind Unksu. But down the straight then. For lap number 19. And it's to the inside for Unksu. And he makes his way through into P1. I think you have. I'm thinking you have. If you haven't, I'll be very offended. But, yeah. You don't do what is it? It's Briars, I think it is, who comes into my streams every so often. Says hi. And then goes into another one of my streams and says hi, because I have 3 at once going when I do my personal streams. Listen, my numbers are doing alright, to be fair. It's 254. As Bjarne looks around the outside of Ashtube. Can he make this move stick? There's contact between the two. And Ashtube holds on. I can't see who's subscribed, so I'm just, all I have to do is beg everybody that I know, because I know that not everybody I know is subscribed to me. Bjarne looking around the outside, just stays in behind Ashtube. And once again, an opportunity opened up, but an opportunity not taken on the exit, though. This could be the rarest of opportunities taken by Beyond the Bar as he heads through now. Down the inside he went, and down the inside he held. It's into 130R now, side by side. First time we've seen this all race, as Ashtube tries to hold the outside line. Beyond the Bar now has the outside for Casio. Can he head through? And yes, indeed, he can with that increased grip. And the Mercedes holds on to P2. Astube just has to stay behind in P3. He will get the slipstream and the DRS down the main straight, but 3-second time penalty. It's not worth him fighting. I don't think, at least. As down the inside goes beyond the bar. Wasn't expecting that move coming out from the Mercedes. Or mid-hiccup and beyond the bar. P1 is taken by the Mercedes ahead of Unksu in P2 now. ARL passed on Sticky Icky as well. 5th and 6th swapping positions. But Bjorn, late lunge into turn number 1. Good move? Ish move? I think it was a bit... Well, it was unexpected, of course. And I think those sorts of moves can occasionally spell a difficulty for a driver. Because, well, it's a late lunge. So, it's not... It just doesn't look great on you when there's a little bit of sparks flying, especially if it looks as though it may well be your fault. And Unksu looks to try and come back now. ARL has done brilliant. Yes, he has. He's in P5 at the moment. And, well, he's up there with Chaz and Sticky Icky, who had race-winning pace in the first stint. So he's doing pretty well up there. Is he running no assists today? Is that not normal for him? Because I can't see assists, obviously. I can't go on board and I can see the line. The only one I can really see, or the only one I really look for, is the full traction one. It's really obvious. You know, when they're going absolutely ham, that's when they've made it. As Chaz drops down behind ARL and Sticky Icky. Must have had an issue in the final corner, and ARL gains another position. Yeah, the McLaren of Chaz looked like he went off there. And, well, he's 1.6 seconds off. The mistakes early on in the infancy of his league racing career, not quite nailed out and hammered down. But he's going to try and improve on that within the next few races. And fair play to him, because he is an incredibly quick driver. And what if he can sort himself out and make no mistakes, he'll win this title. Quite plain and simply. Speaking of the title, everybody will be hoping that Unksu doesn't take victory in this one and extends what is almost a perfect season so far from the Haas driver. He's done 5 events. He's won 3 of them. He's taken a 3rd as well. So he's dominant at the top. He is 101 points ahead of Ricky Moreau, who's retired. So that gap will increase, even though somebody, for example, the likes of Astube, could try to close in. But unlikely with Astube's 3-second time penalty. Bjorn being down and actually don't think he's raced at all this season. I don't think he's raced at all. He's not on the standings at least. I do comms on ACC and iRacing, right? ACC, yes. iRacing, I'm trying to break into it. I had something this weekend that was cancelled. But, yeah. Technically, yes. Lone Star down the inside and through on Chaz. Up into P6. But yes, I do comms on ACC and iRacing. Quote unquote. Lone Star is now trying to get back into the DRS of Sticky Icky. Razor makes his way through on Speedy Spud up into P8. And the Aston Martin drops down now to P9. 13.2 seconds between Chaz and Razor. That is the equation between these two drivers, the McLaren and the Mercedes. The McLaren and the Kick Sauber, who's trying to make his way back into contention for this race. Bjorn has almost broken the DRS of Unksu. 0.8 of a second between the two. And, well, it's only increasing. There's only one DRS zone, so not much opportunity to just sit in a DRS train the whole time. Are those leagues? So, are those leagues? They are leagues. Sorry, that took me a second to sound out in my head. They are leagues, and I'm not sure how you sign up, but I'm sure it's pretty simple. I'll send you the link afterwards to a specific one that I do. The other one that I do is like an esports Malta thing, so that's like an exclusive one, but there's one that would definitely appreciate presence. It's only once a month, though, which is really frustrating, because I'd love to do it more than once a month. But, yeah, so we haven't got it for another month now. Speedy Spud makes his way past Razor with the DRS up into P8. But, yeah, once a month is like a weird comm schedule. I know that's like real life. But, yeah. Automobilista 2 sometime soon. Is there no leagues in Automobilista? I have no idea about that scene. I know it's a more old game, so potentially not. But is there no leagues at all? Or decent ones at the least? Bjorn is being reeled back in by Unksu. He almost broke that DRS, but didn't quite do it. And is now Unksu is now 3/10 behind with Ashtube 2.1 seconds off. Ashtube hoping these two get 6 seconds worth of penalties so he can come through and win this race, but that's looking unlikely at this point. Unless they both take each other out, which don't do that. But Unksu closing in 2/10 behind, but just staying in. Just staying in behind. What sort of content did they introduce? Because I've seen nothing about Automobilista, apart from when I did the 1,000 Miles of Sebring. I did 2 endurance races in one day. That's mad. Lone Star and Chaz right behind Sikieki. Lone Star with the penalty. Chaz not with one. And I think that could change this dynamic quite quickly. As Chaz has the pace to go up ahead. But it's whether he can have that consistency in order to hold on. Or potentially move up the field and up into P5. Which will be his next target, I would imagine. Yeah, what sort of new content? We've got 3 laps to go in this race. Is it 3? Yeah, 3.5 laps left to go in this race. And Bjorn looks as though he's holding on to it once again. But Unksu just being able to hold on to that DRS. And he's going to stay in. DLC. It's as good as iRacing Bawechi, but I will only get iRacing if I commentate on it, and I would die on that hill. Same with LMU, although, speaking of, keep an eye out. I've had to reject an LMU league for this, by the way, so you should be very appreciative. But we don't talk about that. We talk about the action on the circuit, and Lone Star makes his way past Sticky Icky. Up into P5. It's 4 seconds off Ashtube, so probably too many, although he only needs to make 1 second because Ashtube did a YouTube creator expose, exposing everybody bad that he knows about, which is really, really interesting. Anyway, only a couple of laps to go left in this Grand Prix. Bjorn has led on to this race lead for a very long time. Unksu looks as though he might be shaping up for a final corner desperate lunge. And we shall see where they end up going. It's lap 25 or 27. And, well, Unksu has never really been as threateningly close. He's been close, but has he been threatening? No. The time is now for him to come through and threaten. I see Evo would be good once it's fully released. It's like 30 quid from what I see. So potentially, if there's like league racing on it that needs comms that's paid, I'll do it. If not, then that's fine. I don't mind doing non-paid comms. I make it sound like I do. I don't mind it. Like, you should hear me on like PSGL. It is a little bit more boring. I say boring. A little bit more calm in this league than other leagues, just because other leagues are absolute chaos. I think there's a level to which a league can be chaos and a league can just be wrong. And I think potentially this league toes that line somehow. But not with the likes of Robsicola racing, not for much longer, eh? At 26 to 27, penultimate lap of this race, and Bjarne Bar is broken away from the chasing. Oh no, from the chasing pack. And well, it's looking pretty good so far for Bjarne and for Unsu to come home in a 1-2. Whether that's the order they finish in, though, not quite yet. We will see. There will be eventually when it's developed. You deserve it. I appreciate that, man. I mean, I've been doing volunteer comms for over a year, so it's only been a year as well. Like, if I think about it, that's kind of crazy. The fact that it's only been a year that I've been doing this. Bjarne has been overtaken by Unsu. I've missed the overtake that was potentially for the race victory from Unsu. That's devastating. And now Bjarne has to fight back in P2, trying to fight back heading into P1, but he can't quite do so, and he stays in behind the next overtaking opportunity. He's up into the first of 2 hairpins, and is he going to be able to get the run out of this corner to get into there? He will have a little bit of dirty air from the car in front, but it's not quite enough to ward him off, and Bjarne could be looking to the inside line, or he could just be waiting in behind. He might be even waiting as far as Spoon. If he gets past at Spoon, he will take victory, I can imagine. The only last overtaking opportunity, it's not an overtaking opportunity if you ask Alain Prost, but the 1989 Japanese Grand Prix aside, the final corner, the Casio Triangle, is what will round out our race. It's the final braking zone. It's the final overtaking opportunity for these drivers to put in everything they've done over the last couple of hours. It is going to be a straight shootout. Can Unsu win his 4th race of the season, or is Bjarne going to take it? He's going to look around the outside, but he can't quite find that gap. Unsu defending perfectly, and around the final corner they will come. It's going to be a drag race up to the line, but it's going to be won by Unsu, who takes yet another victory in this season. And what a victory that ended up being, as Ashtu, big penalties for him heading his way. ARL sneaks his way onto the podium with a P3. And yeah, Ashtu dropping down to P7 by the end of that race. There's still a scrap going on around the final couple of corners for P8. Razor holding on to it. Speedy Spud trying to take it to the line, but can't quite do it. It will be a photo finish, but it's going to be quite easily Razor across the line. And Hoppy will be our final finisher in P10. But Unsu, our victor here today. TKM actually the only driver outside of the points. So 11 drivers finishing, 10 of which were inside the points. Unsu once again topping the standings and taking victory here. But he was pushed very close by Bjarne. And well, if there's any reports, would be great. Yeah, Unsu 4 on the spin now. And he's starting to put up Max Verstappen numbers at the top of these standings. Bjarne with his first race of the season, pushing it close. Or sorry, second race of the season even. Pushing it close. Because I think he raced in, if I remember correctly, Las Vegas, but he hasn't raced since. Anyway, Unsu taking that victory by just over half a second ahead of Bjarne de Bar, who ran him very close and will take home fastest lap. ARL in P3 with Chaz in P4, Sticky Icky 5th, Lone Star 6th, Ashtube in P7. Then it's Razor and Speedy Spud and Hoppy rounding out the top 10 with Nutter, Notewood TKM, the only non-finisher, the only non-points finisher. Then Nutter, Nike, Loot Racer and Ricky rounding out the field completely. The 4 drivers to retire from the session, but pretty good racing, all things considered. And at the end of it, it's going to be Bjarne in P2, but a 4th win in a row for Unsu. We need Callum back, not going to lie, to see where he's going to end up. Need to practice for next week, missed every break point. It is what it is. I get you though. I get you. But anyway, It's going to round out today's broadcast. 27 laps of the Japanese Grand Prix were won once again by Youngsu, who's looking to take home a dominant title charge. And on that note, I will see you again next time. Goodbye.